Good evening and welcome to CoreTV News at 7 with me, Emmanuel Ezekiel. We start from the political campaign front, where President Goodluck Jonathan has continued his quest for re-election with a campaign rally in the capital of Yobe State, Damaturu. The president, who was accompanied to the rally by leaders of the party, promised the people of the state that Boko Haram insurgents will be defeated in no time.
My great people of Yobe State, I love it so much. That is one of the reasons why I set up the Federal University in this state. I grew up from a very rural area. Because but I had the opportunity to go to school, that's why I'm here as your president. That is why I brought the Al-Majiri schools and the university to Yobe State. So that tomorrow one of your children will be like me.
And staying with campaigns, the presidential campaign of the All Progressives Congress, Muhammadu Buhari, has taken his campaign to Lagos, where he promised to ensure that measures that will check the spate of violence against women in the country if he wins the 2015 elections will be sustained. Buhari made this known during a town hall meeting in Lagos. Abiola Luwole reports that it was also an opportunity to meet artisans and tradesmen in Lagos. His report presented from our studios.
Ahead of general elections, political gladiators have continued to woo the electorate across board. The presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress in the March 28 polls, Muhammadu Buhari, and the leadership of the party were in Lagos to give an insight into their plans for women and artisans if they emerge victorious at the poll. At the meeting in Lagos, Buhari assured them that he will work to ensure the legal framework that will further guarantee their rights if elected. He says corruption, insecurity and bad governance remain the bane of the nation.
These forms a vicious circle which needs the cooperation of all Nigerians to break it. If the Naira continues to go down, as I said, the factories will close. If there is no power, the factory will continue to close. If there is no security, people will take cover. Those that can afford it will leave the country. Those of us that are stuck here will remain and suffer.
The town hall meeting with the artisans and tradesmen was another platform for Buhari to interact with the informal sector after listening to problems highlighted by the artisans hindering the growth of their businesses. Buhari promised to ensure periodic training, stable power supply, and interest-free loan to aid their contribution to the nation's economy.
Our government, if elected, promises to provide basic support to your businesses, especially with regards to power, which constitutes about 30 to 40% of your operational costs and eating into your profits.
Speaking in the same vein, Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola and the national leader of the party, Bola Tinubu, urged the artisans to support Buhari and other candidates of the APC to change what they describe as an unintelligent government led by the PDP.
I will vote for General Buhari, and I know that General Buhari will vote for himself. But you know what? After offering himself and voting for himself and coming to answer questions from you, that's all that he can really do for himself. He cannot elect himself. Are you ready to elect him?
At a very crucial time in every nation state, you need those who are intelligent, brilliant, and think good vision enough to steer the ship of the nation.
As politicians explore ways of selling their programs to the electorate, the expectation of Nigerians, according to political watchers, is good governance irrespective of the party that wins the election.
Now, staying with politics, one of Nigeria's registered political parties, the Independent Democrats, has denounced claims of an alliance with the presidential candidates of the All Progressives Congress, Muhammadu Buhari. The party said this in reaction to a report in a national daily that included the ID as one of the 13 political parties that have agreed to back the APC presidential candidate. In a statement issued by its National Director of Operations, Chidi Ike, it said that it stands on its position of adopting President Goodluck Jonathan as presidential candidate. Ike noted that the party had on December 11, 2014, adopted President Goodluck Jonathan at a national convention monitored by the INEC. Now, our next story is on who becomes Nigeria's next president, this time according to the people. In what has become and what has been tagged as Nigeria's most keenly contested presidential election, it appears that perhaps the first time the answer to the question has become very dicey. The competition has recently narrowed down to two main political gladiators, incumbent President Goodluck Jonathan of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and General Muhammadu Buhari of the All Progressives Congress, APC. This time, the debate was not in the studio, but on the street, where correspondent Emmanuel Ajay engaged two Nigerians holding two different opinions.
Where they are focused on the Buhari that is the old man, is dizzy, they are first started that he didn't have the certificate, he didn't have this, he didn't have that. There is nothing, are they not in Nigeria in 2003 when he was contesting for president in 2003, the same thing in 2007, the same thing in 2011. They are not verified, are they not verified their certificate? By that time, that's
What I want you to understand is that Jonathan is the best government I've ever seen. He's being a young man and he can lead us to anywhere we want. Buhari has nothing to offer us. He's forging his result. Part of it, he has nothing to offer Nigeria. And I keep saying this to everybody. Jonathan is the man that we can trust.
The third citizen came with a chronicle of septuagenarian politicians in history, both in Nigeria and beyond, who contested
1979, when Nnamdi Azikiwe contested for president, he was 75 years old. And 1983, when Awolowo contested for president, he was 84 years in age. And even Mandela was around 76 years when he became president. Even Reagan in America, he was 70 years. Even if you are talking about Abraham Lincoln was around 80-something years when he became president of America. And he contested for almost more than 20 times.
You can watch more of that on one of our programs on CoreTV News. The People, a program that takes the studio to the streets. Moving on now, the All Progressives Congress has advised the people of the southeast Nigeria against putting all its eggs in one political basket. This, according to party chairman John Odidie Oyegun, is because the region has not had enough benefit to justify its long-standing support for the People's Democratic Party, PDP. He said this in Abuja while commending the Igbo Delegates Assembly for endorsing the APC presidential candidate, Muhammadu Buhari.
You are some of the most dynamic people in this country, the most aggressive in a positive sense, business people. Nobody travels and settles the length and breadth of this country unless he believes in the nationhood of that country. And you have all planted yourselves in every single corner of this nation. So the survival of this nation, the prosperity of this nation must be of concern to all of you. For 16 years, the PDP has been in office. What we have learned from that is that they have taken the nation for granted. For 16 years, the Igbos have almost 90% supported the PDP. You are being taken for granted. Because I don't know which of you here can name things that have specially come to you because of 16 years of loyalty. You have put yourself in a position where they will say, don't worry, they are with us, it doesn't matter. They will come to us who are abusing them to come and bribe us to support them. Yes. They don't need to bribe. Correct. They don't need to do anything for you. You are already there. So why are you playing that kind of politics? Look at the Southwest. Southwest is 60-40. Why must the Igbo nation be 95-5? Why? Where is your bargaining power? So when the PDP wants funds for campaign, they will go and give PDP 1 billion. But they do come to us to and give us 250 million. That is the kind of politics that we want the Igbo race to. Please, please, please don't put your eggs all in one basket.
You're still watching CoreTV News at 7. We'll go for a quick commercial break. The news returns shortly. Stay with us.
Don't you wish your mommy was fine like mine? Yeah. Don't you wish your mommy was smart like mine? Yeah. Don't you? Don't you wish your mommy could laugh like mine?
And that's why every mom should take 3 Crowns milk with low cholesterol to help stay fit and healthy so she can take extra care of her family.
Don't you wish your wifey was hot like mine?
3 Crowns now comes in powder.
The power to change Nigeria is in your hands. Now is the time to go out and vote. Vote to Buhari, vote for change. Chandela Dibo, we to go sabi change. So you vote to give my Makamba.
Say no to corruption. Say no to insecurity. No to unemployment. No to inequality. Vote for Buhari.
Nigeria, APC.
Welcome back. It's still the news at 7 here on CoreTV. The United Progressive Party says it will not accept another shift of date for the forthcoming 2015 general elections. This, according to the presidential candidate of the party, Chekwas Okorie, is because there is no basis for a further shift in the election date on the grounds of insecurity. He also backed plans by the Independent National Electoral Commission, the INEC, to use card readers for accreditation of voters.
The UPP is for the election to be held as scheduled, and the UPP will urge INEC or even the government of the day, the PDP government, not to try any further provocation of the Nigerian people. The international community, all well-meaning nations of this world who are practicing democracy have cautioned Nigeria not to do anything that will bring a bigger problem than the one we are trying to solve. We opposed the postponement in the first place for this very reason. Because I remember I did say at that time that what happened, although we had accepted it, but what happened was a prelude. We suspected it to be a prelude to more sinister motives. And we cautioned that in the course of trying to solve a particular problem that one party is afraid to confront, they may create a problem that no party or all the parties put together may not be able to solve. And apparently our fears are beginning to be justified. All these opposition to card reader, wanting a shift in the date of the election and so on and so on, it's all coming from only one source. As for the 15 parties, I heard they said, read in the papers that they said they will boycott the election. Wonderful idea. I wish they can carry out their threat, and that will reduce the election to a more manageable proportion.
As the political landscape continues to experience significant actions by politicians and other citizens as the countdown to the general elections draws close, the Oyo State Governor, Abiola Ajimobi, who recently got the endorsement of the Lagos State of the Oyo State Association of Okada Riders and new members who defected from other political parties to join the All Progressives Congress, has enjoined supporters to remain faithful by voting massively for his re-election bid. Ajimobi also restated his commitment not to flash out motorcycles in the state, saying those peddling rumors of imminent ban are only threatened by the success of his administration. Omotayolo has more.
It was another important gathering for members of the All Progressives Congress in Oyo State, as to receive new members from other political parties like Accord, PDP, Labour, SDP and COA in the state, with promises and pledges to support Ajimobi's continuity headlong. A former Accord leader in Onwara local government, Ward 10, Oyewole Akokorere, says Ajimobi is an exemplary leader with excellent performance during his first term as governor, and as such would love to be associated with him and be a part of such progress and good works.
Accord led by Ladoja, they are fully autocracy. That's why I decided to leave that party.
Leaders of Motorcycle Riders Association in the state say they endorse the incumbent governor for second term due to his tremendous contribution and has promised to protect their interests if he returns as governor.
The governor has invited us and told us that there's nothing like that. He said that he's not going to ban Okada in the state. Concerning the taxation, it happened sometimes 6 months ago, but immediately we let the governor know. He let them know that he didn't give them such things to do, so they stopped it immediately.
If Ajimobi decides today that they want to cancel the, that means I'm not enjoying Ajimobi. But so far Ajimobi is not banding my working this thing. I have to support Ajimobi to any length.
Ajimobi expressed joy at the development, saying the new entrants and recent endorsement have increased his chances by 20%, thereby giving him an opportunity to win the state a second time. He also urged supporters to ignore propaganda messages by opposition.
We stand for peace and security. We don't want to go back to the past. They should continue to go forward. Everybody prays to go forward. Nobody wants to go back, so they shouldn't go back.
With a handful of citizens giving their nods to an APC-led government, what this percentage translates to remains a question to be answered at the poll. Omotayo, CoreTV News, Ibadan.
And now to security. The Nigeria's police says it is willing to enforce all electoral laws in order to guarantee peace and security during and after elections. It also said a special intervention team will be on standby to contain any breach of the peace on election day. Police spokesman Emmanuel Ojukwu said in a statement that the team is also to check the excesses of troublemakers and bring them to justice. He added that Inspector General of Police Suleiman Abba has since warned such individuals as well as political stakeholders to desist from acts that will impact negatively on public peace. The Police High Command also reassured that it will remain non-partisan and impartial at all times. And now to the crisis in the Nigeria Labour Congress, where the last has not been heard about the leadership crisis within the nation's body, with the emergence of a factional national executive committee of the Labour body, a further sign that all is not well. Joe Ajari, a contestant for the post of the national president of the Nigeria Labour Congress during the last national congress of the NLC, is the new factional president.
In terms of defense of workers' rights and as the vanguard of the workers and the poor and oppressed in the country has been at its lowest level. In the last 4 years, under the fair leadership of Comrade Abdulwahid Oman, the Abdulwahid Oman leadership has paid significantly on the euphoria of the extraordinary performance of the NLC under the leadership of Comrade Adams Oshomole between 1999 and 2007. Unfortunately, that momentum could not be sustained as the NLC under Omar lost focus, direction, discipline, sense of duty and commitment to the cause of the working people as manifested in the following areas. 1. Increased number of job losses without union protection. Increased casual to contract employment even in the presence of ineffectual and prostrate anti-casualization committee led by Comrade Ayuba. Failure to ensure the implementation of the 18,000 naira minimum wage and general lack of interest on critical issues affecting workers.
You're still watching CoreTV News at 7. We'll go for another break. When the news returns, more stories. Stay with us.
Vote for change! Vote APC!
When I was younger, I can remember a time when corruption was a thing of shame.
I dream of a future where we won't have challenges with electricity.
I'm voting for Buhari because he understands our past and our history.
I dream of a time where we're going to have free and honest election.
I remember a time when 1 naira was equal to £1.
I am voting for Buhari because we need change for a brighter future.
Nigeria! APC! Change!
The army was not supposed to be visible or to be around any polling unit unless there is a breakdown of law and order and they have been invited by the Inspector General of Police.
That elections are sheltered in Africa is no news. But in Nigeria, it comes with consequences.
Against the will of one man.
Consequences that have toggled the nation's politics and may shape how Nigeria elects.
This is the year of PGP.
The momentum gathers.
When we promise, we deliver.
The fireworks is unending.
We did it and continue to do it.
55 years this year, and in her fourth republic, this is Nigeria's 5th general elections. All the action, all the news, the updates, and the news behind the news we will bring to you live from the field and in the studio on CoreTV News as Nigeria elects.
Welcome back. Security operatives are blaming the return of fuel queues in some parts of the country on the refusal by petrol tankers to load petroleum products from the south for distribution to the north for fear of being caught in post-election violence. The Department of State Services disclosed this in a statement issued by its spokesman, Marilyn Oga, in Abuja. She, however, said heads of security agencies have ordered appropriate security cover for tanker drivers in the run-up to the elections. In the meantime, the Senate President David Mark is concerned over the level of devastation and killings in Egba community of Agatu local government area of Benue State after a recent invasion by armed men suspected to be Fulani herdsmen. Mark, who was on the spot assessment of the wreckage, likened to what he saw to genocide. He said the action of the perpetrators is nothing but absolute criminality, which must be addressed as such. The Senate President told his heartbroken constituents that the President, Goodluck Jonathan, during the last Security Council meeting, has set up a panel to investigate the mayhem. He therefore counselled the people to continue to maintain peace as government has enough apparatus to deal with the situation in a way that would bring justice to all concerned. Senator Mark also visited the makeshift tent housing some injured survivors of the attack, as well as internally displaced persons, IDPs. He later visited the site where the murdered persons were said to have been given mass burial. Now, the United Nations Children's Fund has said about 70 million Nigerians do not have access to safe water in the country. It's also said about 110 million lacked access to improved sanitation. UNICEF said in a statement issued in Abuja in commemoration of this year's World Water Day, said that the poor and vulnerable are the most affected. It, however, noted that about 2.3 billion people worldwide have since 1999 gained access to improved sources of drinking water. This, according to the agency, ensured that the MDG's target of halving the percentage of water global population having access to it was met in 2010. The theme of this year's commemoration is water and sustainable development. And that's CoreTV News package at 7. Do join us at 9:45 for our flagship news. In the meantime, the reporter comes up after the news. Stay with us. I am Emmanuel Ezekiel.